We've been talking about it. I think we're far enough in
Ceiling?
November. No, not that.
Oh.
We're far enough into November that it's about time to talk about what impressed Kevin Hawk the most in the month of October. That's right, we're talking about Kevin Hawk's self-high five.
Yeah, that's as many.
Yeah. For those of you that are new, or for those of you that don't remember, Thomas Wolfe used to do Thomas' top 5, but Thomas, unfortunately, can't get out here as often as he'd like. So we want to keep the top 5 going, so we've taken it upon ourselves to alternate months and give you a top 5 of things that impressed us the most. Sometimes they could be lists that didn't impress us, but, you know, we like to thrive in positivity sometimes. Like, the power of positivity.
POP holding it down.
Kevin Hawk, what impressed you in the month of October?
Lots of things. Bye.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
What 5 specific things?
Well, it's people.
Or
not just things.
Well,
people.
It's as long as it's related to wrestling.
Before.
It could be things that people did.
Did you want to just give them a quick clue in on who's ineligible this month because they were picked last month?
Yeah. So last month I did all tag teams. We had the Usos. We had, I believe, can't remember who the other one was. But we had the top 3 were the 3 teams from Ladder War 6 in Ring of Honor. We had honorable mentions for Heath Slater and Rhino. So that's what we try to do. We don't want to keep having the same person in the top 5 because then Cesaro would be in every top 5 that we do. So we like to break it up. So those are the people that aren't eligible. I believe it was American Alpha. It might have been American Alpha.
Potentially.
So they are not eligible. So, other than those people, who impressed you in the month of October?
Number 5.
Oh, getting right to it.
The Brian Kendrick.
Hey, the man with the plan.
Absolutely. The man who has somehow disappeared off of wrestling's radar for a moment to come back and make himself incredibly relevant on Monday Night Raw and then end out the month by winning the Cruiserweight Championship from that punk-ass TJ Perkins.
Whoa! All of a sudden you have an issue with TJ Perkins.
Well, you know, I don't know. I felt like I made myself clear a little bit initially during the end of the Cruiserweight Classic that I didn't feel like he should have won the tournament.
Yeah, I think that was a.
And I still feel that way. So
I think there was a consensus with that. A lot of people weren't too.
Punk as TJ Perkins.
Oh, okay. All right, Brian Kendrick.
Yeah, Brian Kendrick gets that one in there. Because that's another thing about a lot of wrestlers when they make comebacks. A lot of them never really go back up to the top of their division.
Yeah, no, it's usually, we thought him and Tajiri were just kind of there as remember what the Cruiserweight division used to be?
Yeah.
Well, here's a little flashback. But
now they're older.
But yeah, Brian Kendrick has, Tajiri obviously didn't stick around because, he's got stuff to do in Japan. But yeah, Brian Kendrick has come very, very much back into the limelight, which a lot of guys don't usually get to do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, the only other one in recent history I can think of is Goldust winning the tag titles.
Yeah, that was, and
having a wrestler make a comeback after being gone for a while and actually rising to prominence.
And Goldust being tag team champions was a while ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's a perfectly good reason for Brian Kendrick to be on the top 5.
Yeah. Number 4.
That's as many.
The Chikara Grand Champion, Hala Wicked.
Ooh. Stepping out the WWE box.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often on the top 5 list, but he had at the Chikara show Judgment Day at the beginning of the month.
Yes.
Defended the Chikara Grand Championship successfully against a very game Heidi Lovelace.
Oh, yes.
What made this special is it was also a history-making match on the other end, which made it seem like it was extra possible for Heidi Lovelace to win because at that point she's the first ever challenger to go for the Grand Championship twice in one season.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because she tried to beat Princess Kimberly prior to Hala Wicked winning the championship back. So everyone kind of thought it was her time to do the thing, to shine, and Hala Wicked just asserts dominance Not to mention controlling Icarus, Mark Angelo Setti, the Batiri, Kobold,
this is one of the coolest. Frightmare. This is one of the coolest storylines that Chikara has done in a while.
And Jigsaw. Yeah.
It's and like the blogs and the promos and stuff that he puts out is just it's so new, and it's this side of Hallowicked is really fun to watch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the successful retention of the Grand Championship at Judgment Day garners him spot number 4 on my list.
Yeah, and Hallowicked was even on a top 5 earlier this year by becoming the first ever 2-time Grand Champion.
So he's been on twice now.
So
number 3.
That's this many.
Alexa Bliss.
Ooh, good choice.
5 Feet of Fury. Straight up, for potentially no other reason than becoming the heel that SmackDown needed. Doing so good, especially for being like one of the very last people drafted.
Yeah.
Which is sad to say. But then immediately shooting herself into prominence. And saying like, hey, guess what? I am the top heel female competitor on the SmackDown roster.
Definitely. Yeah, and it was unfortunate that we didn't get her versus Becky at No Mercy.
Yeah.
And she had that speed bump in that really awkward match with Naomi.
But I didn't count that against her, really.
No. And and you don't count one match against a person, especially when they've stayed as prominent and just she's stayed strong throughout the entire month. That one match was, definitely a bit of a flaw, but, I mean, she was still number 1 contender for most of the month.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, so, being blissed off earned her the number 3 spot on my list. I enjoyed thoroughly, because, like we say, like the rule is we can put on people for whatever reason we want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've thoroughly enjoyed just about everything she's done through the entire month of October, with the exception of that match at No Mercy was a little awkward.
That's fine.
She's a great opposite side of the coin from Becky Lynch.
Yeah. Because
Becky Lynch, like, oozes, like, goody two-shoesness and positivity.
Yeah.
And then, like, Alexa Bliss, on the other hand, is just like...
doesn't care.
Yeah. She just sweats anger.
And it's so hot.
Tasty anger.
Whoa. I thought I made it weird. You took it a step further.
It happens.
That's alright.
Okay, I gotta scratch myself off for being number 2 on this list.
You were gonna put yourself on your own top 5.
Until I said that thing.
Alright.
Sweat is not tasty. It is so salty. Number 2.
Alright, that's this many.
Shane McMahon.
Oh, okay.
Straight up, and I know, okay, let's be real, breaking the fourth wall here. I know Shane McMahon's not really in charge of what happens on everything on SmackDown.
What?
But giving him the credit for being the commissioner of SmackDown, just the fact that SmackDown's been so damn good since the brand split. Basically, if I could, I am splitting this number 2 spot equally into equal little portions to everyone on the SmackDown roster except for Mojo Rawley.
I thought you were just gonna go with Shane and Daniel Bryan, but yeah, no, I mean that is
SmackDown's just winning right now.
Like this week specifically was
a good indication.
Like we had such a hard time watching 3 fucking hours of Monday Night Raw and not giving a shit about 90% of it, and then thoroughly enjoying the entirety of SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like. The fact that with 1 hour less we were more into the show just speaks volumes about what either show is doing.
Yeah.
I want to say thanks to Shane McMahon for that. I don't even give a fuck if he's writing the show or not.
Yeah. But, for him playing that authority figurehead character...
It's a kayfabe number 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
I dig it.
So kudos. Because basically... I didn't want to make the entire SmackDown roster ineligible for being picked next month.
Oh man, we'd have a hard time picking people next month.
Just be
especially with Raw's track record.
Number 1.
Wait.
Oh, we got honorable mentions.
It's my turn.
All right, honorable.
I gotta know who your number 1 is first, though. So, just so I know I don't pick the person.
Okay. I couldn't pick a number 1.
Really?
I could not pick one person to be number 1. This is the first time in my head where I felt like a tie is justified for the number 1 spot on the top 5.
And it's not a team?
No.
Okay. Well,
the number 1 in a way, it's multiple levels of like a thing. Because it's not only 2 people, but it's also a match.
Okay.
My number 1 spot goes to Charlotte and Sasha Banks.
Oh yeah, that's all right. That's good.
Before I continue, honorable mentions.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna do all 3 that I have on here.
Okay.
I originally picked 2. That's kind of what we've gone with. I put an extra one on there just in case he picked someone that I thought was deserving of it. But I'm gonna go in order of. I'm gonna go backwards in how I wrote them down because I think they progressively get more relevant as I go. Chris Jericho.
Absolutely.
Though the list of Jericho started in September, it got so over in the month of October.
Yeah.
Jericho is doing some of his best stuff right now. Not only with...
You could have called it the month of Jer-October.
There you go. That doesn't get any better than that. And plus, we don't want to be on the list, so we got to put Jericho on here somewhere.
We don't want to be on the list, so Jericho makes our list.
Yes. Jericho, you just made the list in the honorable mentions part. Because, who would have thought that writing people's names on a fucking clipboard would be over AF in the month of October?
Who knows?
It's one of those things you don't expect it to get over, but god damn it, it did. Next step up from that, I'm going to say the debut of Sanity. Sanity making their debut, being a very eclectic group, a very interesting group. I really enjoyed their, the reveal of who all the members were in their first initial encounter.
I love their logo.
Yeah, it's
their names. Did you guys know that?
Yeah,
it's their names.
He blew my fucking mind, like showing me how it all matches up. It is insane. It's insanity. Plus, they made it to the semifinals in October, and now as of November they are eliminated. But they were dominant throughout the month of October. Very interesting stuff, and we can only imagine what they're going to be capable of from this day forward. But my last honorable mention, I don't get it. We don't know why, but James Ellsworth became the man to have more pinfalls over AJ Styles than John Cena.
I think James Ellsworth has more pinfall victories over AJ Styles or more victories in general, because one was pinfall, one was disqualification.
Right. That's right.
More victories over AJ Styles than lots of people who have ever wrestled AJ Styles.
Yeah. No, there's not a lot of people that get repeated victories over AJ Styles, and James Ellsworth is one of those lucky few.
Yeah, back to back, too.
And, it's just, again, like the list of Jericho, it's one of those things that probably shouldn't have gotten over, but did.
Yeah.
And
how many people can say back to back consecutively, with the exception of, the only other person I can think of is Shelton Benjamin, showing up on a brand and getting 2 weeks back to back wins over the champion.
Yeah, because Shelton Benjamin did it against Triple H.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's not something that happens often, especially
that was like a decade ago, by the way.
Especially in WWE.
Yeah.
You're not going to get shit like that happens. And,
And you damn sure wouldn't get it on Raw, because that would be hilarious watching somebody like that go over twice on Roman fucking Reigns.
Not going to fucking happen. And there's a lot of people that are going to naysay James Ellsworth, like, oh, why are jobbers getting all of this love and adoration?
Yeah, where the fuck is his chin?
it's fun to watch. It's something new. It's not the same monotonous shit. And I'm not expecting James Ellsworth to be WWE champion.
I am.
That's fine.
WrestleMania, bro.
If you want him to be champion,
he's winning the Rumble.
I'm not. He better be in the fucking Royal Rumble this year. I swear to God.
That's probably gonna be the last time we see James Ellsworth.
And that's okay. And I'm okay with that. But the guy has had a hell of a run, and you know, two wins over AJ Styles is enough to get you at least an honorable mention on the top 5.
Yeah.
So take us back to number 1. Let's talk about that first ever women's Hell in a Cell match.
It was basically everything we kind of wanted it to be.
It was. I couldn't have expected anything more from them.
There were a lot of throwbacks to like original Hell in a Cell match things. Like I felt like a lot of like because we had that promo with Mick beforehand, talking about like having like a relationship with Charlotte and Sasha, like personal relationships with these wrestlers, and like I feel like they kind of pulled something out of the Undertaker versus Mick Foley Hell in a Cell, where even before the match gets started, Charlotte puts Sasha through the table, and she's getting stretchered away, and she makes that comeback moment. Very much, it's the same thing that Mick Foley did.
Yeah,
because the Hell in a Cell match never started, really.
Yeah,
because you go back to that King of the Ring match.
Because Mick Foley went straight to the top and actually like goaded Undertaker to come up there with him.
Yeah, and so they did way. I think they did way more than a lot of people were anticipating them doing.
Yeah,
you know, bringing in chairs, bringing in tables, like it was so outside the box for what WWE's women's division has been for like the last decade. It
was the biggest step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely the best step in that direction since Sasha and Bayley main eventing a takeover.
Right. Yeah, no, this has been a great year for women's wrestling, and it's nice to see WWE not only taking that to heart, but taking a step that no one really expected them to do.
Yeah.
And now that's even opened the gates for SmackDown gets TLC.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of talks that Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch are going to have a ladder match.
I would not... I honestly, at this point, it could be a ladder match, it could be a tables match, it could be a chairs match. I know we get the TLC matches reserved now for Ambrose and Styles.
Yeah.
But if they were to get one of the stipulation matches on the TLC
I think at this point they have to. They absolutely have to.
It would be awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, this match itself was history-making, it was exciting, and it set the stage for a lot more that WWE can do now.
Yeah, and it was good. I mean, a lot of us have the one complaint that Charlotte won.
Yeah, that's really the only bad takeaway from this match is that it wasn't necessary to have Sasha lose the belt again.
And I mean, I understand because from what I understand, this is building up to a WrestleMania angle.
Yes,
Because the idea is that they're running now with the fact that Charlotte has not lost a championship match on a pay-per-view in 13 consecutive pay-per-views.
Singles match.
Well, just as championship matches.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
On a pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Specifically, in 13 consecutive pay-per-views that she wrestled in championship matches, she's won them.
Right.
I think this leads to the fact that if you keep building these up, she's going to have like 16, 17 of these under her belt by the time WrestleMania comes around.
Right.
You know, that's why both times she's lost to Sasha have been on Monday Night Raws.
Oh. Light bulb just went off in my head.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So somebody's going to beat Charlotte down the road at a pay-per-view, and that's going to be used as a huge catalyst for whoever gets that push.
That'll beat Bayley.
Probably. That's my list, man.
I dig it.
Drink it in.
Drink it in, man.
Drink in the list of Hawk. Doesn't roll out the tongue as well as the list of Jericho.
Drink his Hawk.
Drink my Hawk list. Swish it around, it's Listerine.
Oh, God. No. Oh, man. All right, guys. That's it.
If
That's
this ending hasn't been awkward enough,
that's
bye.
That's the top 5 for October. Thank you, Kevin Hawk. Awesome choices.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Who else would you have put on your top 5? Do you disagree with some of the people that we put on here? It doesn't really matter because it's his list and my honorable mentions, so you can't really change it. But who would be your top 5 from the month of October? Let us know in the comments. Sure to hit all those links down in the description.
Social medias, we talk up there sometimes.
SoundCloud, you can get all of our regular reviews in podcast
You don't
form.
get this one though.
Go over Reasonable Wrestling Fans.
Reasonable with the W, like wrestling.
Like Wrestling, where you get all the extra videos. This week you're getting an unboxing video, so look forward to that. You'll also be getting a punishment video not far after. Check out all of our stuff next week because we got predictions aplenty, and we'll be having reviews the following week. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you some other time.
Yeah.
Fuck Mojo Rawley.
Absolutely.
The only piece of shit on the SmackDown roster.